Good afternoon, it's Tuesday afternoon and welcome once again to Watching Watches. So, you will have seen me in my previous video opening up a box with an IWC Pilot watch, and things have changed already since then. My son wanted that watch, so he's now bought that watch off me essentially, and I just basically got my money back, although based on the price that we got it for, could have probably sold it for a little bit of a profit on the market, but I wasn't going to make profit off my son, and so he now has the IWC, and I've kind of gone back to the drawing board and gone back to my early hunting ground. I would say probably about 15 to 20 years ago, when I was into Tag Heuer watches. Before getting the IWC, my intention was to get a Tag. I had my own one and reserved one, and all I've done is gone back to that, and I've picked it up this morning. I haven't even adjusted it. It's not on my wrist yet. I'm going to show you guys the watch, and I'm sure it's a watch you've seen online and in stores and stuff like that. It is a Tag Heuer, as you can see. I'm going to have to do that off camera because I don't have enough depth here. This is a pre-owned from 2023, so pretty recent, and it comes with box and papers, full set. It is the Aquaracer 200. The actual code number is the WPB2111, WPB2111, and here it is. I've adjusted the time and date, so that's correct. The first thing that strikes you is that stunning dial, the textured dial with that ombre or fume or faded, or call it whatever you like, but you've got this kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, let's call it an ombre kind of finish to it, and you've got it sort of darkens almost to black on the edges. This comes in a grey version as well. This is the automatic. They do have this Aquaracer 200, not with the fume finish in the middle, but they do have the same watch itself, but just with a different dial, in quartz, and actually that one comes as a chronograph as well in the quartz, and they also have it with a solar panel. It's called the Solargraph. So there's quite a selection. They're all made with the same bracelet, same case, same layout. The only difference is with the handset. On the solar one, I believe the second hand is like a baby blue kind of color, like a Tiffany kind of blue type thing. And I think on this there's also a two-tone lume. If I remember correctly, it's a green lume, except for it's either the hour hand or the minute hand, and the second hand, which has a blue lume on it, which is very nice. You've got a stainless steel. They call this although it's brushed, and you can see it's got a sunburst on the brushing, which is very nice. It's kind of, they call this a polished stainless steel. It's kind of a half polished, half brushed. I'm not exactly sure what they call it, but it's got a very nice satin finish to it anyway. And you've got an engraved diving timer bezel, and then that's filled with some kind of black material, some kind of black dye, which hopefully won't come away too easily. Will have some longevity. The bezel, very easy to turn. It's actually quite refreshing, because I do find on a lot of my Seikos it can be quite difficult. I mean, some might argue it's too easy. I have heard some people say that, but I actually quite like it. Well, people talk about Seiko being slightly off, very slightly off. we can live with that. Condition is very nice. So you have a polished mid-link, push button clasp, milled clasp, all section of this milled. Now I did for some reason think that there was a pull-out sort of diver's extension, but there doesn't seem to be on this one, so I'm a bit puzzled. I may have got it wrong. I was under the impression that there was some kind of, oh yeah, it is. That's it. There we go. So you pull that and you get that a bit, that folds in. Otherwise, yeah. So you get like a half link. Oh, I'm pleased about that. I was a bit worried that there was something missing here on this one. I do need to check that. For some reason, that's. Oh yeah, that does kind of lock in place there. Alright. Date wheel at 6 o'clock. I actually like that. I never used to be too fussed. People often complain about having a date wheel, a date complication. I've never really found it appropriate to call a date a complication. I get why it's called a complication, because it's something additional to telling the time, but it's such a basic function on a watch, so I don't really call it a complication. But anyway, that's by the by. But a lot of purists don't want anything on the dial whatsoever other than the watch design, whatever the dial is supposed to be, and they don't like having a date. I'm the opposite. I must have a date on my watch. All of my watches have dates on them. I generally will not buy a watch without a date on it. I use it all the time. Yes, I could look at my phone, but it's a lot easier to look at my watch. I'm just used to it. It's how I've been brought up from day one, when the first time I ever bought a watch. And for me, I've got to have a date. And it doesn't bother me at all if it's at 3, but I get that it's much more balanced if it's at 6 o'clock. It doesn't disrupt the dial as much as at 3 o'clock. The 6 seems to just balance with that larger indices at 12 o'clock. Usually you get a larger hour marker, so it just makes sense to do that. I think what would be actually quite cool, looking at it now, is if they'd make the hour marker as big as the date window. That would balance even more, but I don't think that matters whatsoever. You know, I think there could be a silver, sort of a polished outline to the date window, maybe, just to give it a little bit more class. But you know, there's already so much going on with this dial. The actual, just that ombre look to the dial is just so, to me, it looks so jewel-like. It just, you know, that's all the pizzazz that you want on the watch. The rest, it would be a little bit overkill if you started to do too much more in terms of anything else on the dial. I've heard some people say that they want the Tag Heuer logo raised, applied rather than punched out of the. It's not, probably not even punched out. It's probably just fabricated that way. It's probably printed that way in the first place. I don't think that's an issue for me. It's really not an issue at all. I actually like the early red and green Tag Heuer logos. That for me gives it a bit more of a vintagey look, but I think it would disrupt that look too much. It would not be appropriate. It would be completely incongruous on this dial. This dial is just, it's just a wow dial. It just, you know, it speaks to you straight away. You really don't need anything else on that dial at all. So you have here the crown guards, and you've got this sort of pushed out area here, which kind of matches that crown guard there. It's a screw down crown, it's a signed crown. You've got this nautical compass type thing on the back, and as a general look, I think that's about it. That's all I have to say. This is not a review, as you know. I'm not really that technical when it comes to watches. It's a 40mm watch. I think the lug width is 21. I'm not entirely sure. It's either 20 or 21. I don't recall. Where's my micrometer? I can just measure it myself. It was right here a minute ago. it is. That's 20. Well, that's good because it means you can change the bracelet out if you want to put a strap or something in there. I think it's unlikely that I will, but you never know. It's always good to change up, have something different. Maybe in the summer go for a lighter coloured strap possibly. Anyway, there we go. That's the Aquaracer 200. I think this was released in 2021 if I'm not mistaken, and this particular watch was born in 2023, so pretty recent. That's it. Thanks very much.
Someone is at the front door.
Catch you on the next one.